So now that we got the footing done for this house, the next big project here is to build a concrete wall that sits on top of this footing, and then the log house will sit on top of that concrete wall. But before I build the walls and can't reach in here any longer, I gotta fill this entire thing with gravel up to here. I just had a couple loads hauled in today here, but the problem is I don't know how to really get it in there. So what I'm really hoping here is that I can get most of it in from the edge. I don't really want to drive over my new footing. I knew this wouldn't work and I tried it anyway. I can fill up to here quite easily and just rake it over, but I don't want to move 30 yards by hand. Especially getting into the middle is the hard part. Otherwise I do pretty good on the edges. I mean, I don't actually really want to do this. I looked for other options, but they're all cost money. I need to build a road over top of this footing. Other than these hydraulic lines, I got a ton of clearance. That should work just a beauty. So now, by building this bridge over top of the footing here now, instead of all the weight going just where the tires is, it's going to spread out a bit and protect the top surface there with those boards. And if I can clear these rebar, I'll be really happy, because it's actually not the footing driving over I'm worried about it. I just didn't want to bend those rebar. This footing is able to carry more than the weight of this tractor all day long. Yeah, I wouldn't want to cut that any tighter. I'm gonna have to be real careful here. Better check on this. So I got all kinds of clearance, but I just gotta be damn careful not to run those fucking things over. There's enough stuff I'm working around here that this just isn't really efficient with the tractor. It's not the most nimble device. If I didn't care as much, I could really get this done in a hurry, but I do care, so. This is pretty exciting. I've never run nothing like this before. I've always been curious though. I'm sure many of you guys have been too. So let's see how she goes. Raring for tearing now, boys. Oh, fuck's sakes. On the day that I had my crew here to pour the concrete, it's a beautiful morning like today, just perfect temperature, fresh. And when it's like that, the birds are happy. And one of my friends come down here and he said, well, I thought you just added that added that noise on top of your videos, but actually they're going here all the time. It's really peaceful down here in the valley. So quite often you'll hear these birds over my drone because the drone doesn't record audio. So I do put it there, but if you actually listen, all that noise is me just turning the camera like this and pointing the microphone at the birds. Getting there now, boys. Just give me about an hour and I'll have this shit figured right out. Okay, I'm off. I don't like how this has been going at all. There's just too much stuff in the middle here. Like I can't turn the tractor around here or really get it in there. And I just don't want to drive this shit over my footing. Like I only bent 2 pieces. I don't want to come in here and bend it here. I can't drive it down the front either, so it's really quite difficult unless I drive over it quite a few places. I don't want to do that. You'll have to pardon me, friends. I'm still not very good on these controls. I've hardly used this machine, but this is really what I should have done all along. This house is really designed well for simple plumbing. I didn't want to have a lot of plumbing under this slab. So really there's just a small area there where a few pipes are going in, and then the rest is going to be where it can be accessed later on. There's so much needs done here if I want to get the roof on by winter, which I have to. And there's these things like plumbing and things I've never done before or seen before. They take a long time to figure out. So I said if I could just dig in these couple pipes later, it'll be no problem. But it wasn't until I actually stuck 11 inches of rock in here and looked at how much of a pain in the ass it was to move around, then I realized that wasn't a good idea. That's a big mistake I've made here. So I took the power shovel, I skimmed that gravel and moved it where it needed to go, dug in the sump, and we're moving forward, and the plumber will be coming soon, hopefully. Now what I should have done right from the beginning is stuck this little machine or something like that in the middle. You cannot rake or wheelbarrow 36 yards of gravel. It's just way too hard for what it's worth. I should have never even put that ramp. If it wasn't for these middle footings, it would have been a gravy job. I would have done it all with the tractor, but just stick that machine in there, dump it off the edge of the tractor, level it out. So I apologize for making a mistake here and interrupting the flow of the video. I've never done this before. I'll go home, write it in my list of shit to never do again. It's a long list, but we learned for next time, and really it didn't cost me that much other than a little bit of pissing around, but what can you do, guys? Keep giving her. There's just a little Briggs & Stratton gas engine under the seat. Not much to these little machines. First thing you notice, this machine's got a lot of power, but it's taken a long time to get used to these hydraulics because they're not super well refined. See, it's just jumping. Gonna clean up this ramp and then should be ready for the plumbing. Now it's on to the plumbing. I've had fun running this. Got a lot of work left to do in this video, but I've just rented this for the day and I've had some fun renting it, honestly. So it wasn't too expensive and I got a lot done here in the last 24 hours. You'll have to pardon my cardboard blocks blurring, but if any of my friends locally want to know where I rented this, just give me a text or something and I'll tell you. So I got this big huge hole here. I dug it. That's gonna make my life easier. And what this is a well inside my house. That's really all it is a small well. Just exactly like my drinking water well, except smaller. So if any rainwater somehow slopes in, or if groundwater comes up in an unprecedented occasion, you have this well here that collects water and then you pump it out. That keeps all this dry. But when I was shopping for these sump basins, I didn't like any of them. Really, like all the run-of-the-mill ones, they seemed very small and not really that high quality. Some of them are only like 20 inches. Well, I already got 11 inches here, just a footing, and I want to get my well underneath that footing so the water can't rise up to the point where it affects the soil bearing capacity under the footing. Although unlikely to happen, in the event that it does, at this point all it really costs me is like $40 more and a little extra digging to put in this beauty I just picked up. Now this is more like what I'm talking about. This is the one I wanted. I could stop doing that anytime. That's the one I wanted. Holy shit, what a beauty, guys. bit of digging, but a little sand will get in there is fine, but I just wanted the holes small enough that, you know, debris like that, rocks this side, would not be able to get through there. Now any water in this sandy gravel will just flow to this pit, and I'll pump it out of this pit, and I'll keep the whole ground here dry. Up to this level, which is quite deep. So this is flush with here. We'll pour a slab on top of this wider section and the slab about 4 inches thick, which is exactly this much here. So it'll be flush on top. And then I wanted this perfect level, so it looks nice. That looks beautiful, guys. I've made another big mistake. I thought that it would just be so easy because all there is this one main drain out to the septic, one floor drain, one bathroom, start the stacks. I thought, okay, so why don't they just come out here and do it in 2 hours, and then I can get moving on to the next thing, because I don't have very much time before it's going to be winter here, and I need a damn roof on this log house in the worst way. That didn't work. You know, and I had laid this out and I had a plan, and that was not that bad. Like I knew, had a pretty good idea what I wanted, but I'm not a plumber, eh? Like I've never done plumbing, I've never seen plumbing. So I thought, you know, they can come out here and figure out the small details, and we could send this up and this will be simple, but they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure out how to get vents above some of these because there is a log. And now, again, this is a worse mistake than the previous one, because this is something I knew damn well. Like, this is the problem with house building. Just putting these plumbing in, you got to know exactly what your house is going to look like when it's done. If you just try and do A plus B, you're going to have joists drilled through, you're going to have improper venting, you're going to have dropped ceilings and added walls, and a disaster. And I have to be the one that thinks about all these things and comes up with the plan. And that's been really hard for me because I have never done anything like this. And now I've been spending time trying to research what are the codes, how do I get this done, trying to coordinate with plumbers, and now that's fell through. And all of a sudden a week slips by, and that's just exactly what I didn't want. You know, I just wanted it done in one day and then get on the ICF. But sometimes that's how these things go. And it's really the process of figuring everything out that's the hard part. The gluing the pipes together is easy. I had to basically learn plumbing from the ground up and design this system and figure out how I'm going to plumb the whole house before I even start these stacks. And just when you get out of being frustrated, you're like, holy shit, a week has gone by and I'm just learning and nothing's getting done. And just right at the end of that week, when you're ready to come out here and get shit done, got smoked with the flu, and I was down for a few fucking days. And then it's like, where did time go? I thought this video was going to be done so long ago. Reality is, this is how every single thing goes. Last video, it was the footing, and I had no idea what I was doing and had to learn. And then things come up. I had a cow with mastitis. Took me a huge amount of time driving back and forth to treat every single day. But here's my plumbing. So this is the main drain line. Out, down this way, under the footing, and then eventually out to the septic tank. fast. All the bathrooms are on top of each other, and I have a very minimal amount of plumbing under the concrete. So off the main drain here is a floor drain, and this is my mechanical room. This is a condensate drain, and then this is my main stack here, and it will branch off. So then this space here is my bathroom downstairs, so the main drain goes here. This is another stack, and then this is the toilet here. The bathroom sink will be here, and then the toilet vents through the sink. The shower is over here. This is a very simple system in that if I pour water at any one of these drains, it's all going to end up gravity feeding out that way into the tank. I'll show you. Takes a little second to get there. I missed it. So I need water here to test the plumbing. We're going to fill up my tower here. Okay, good stuff. I'm making sure I don't have any leaks. So all these ends are capped off, so they're sealed up. Then filling this up creates pressure. So I got 10 feet above my highest fitting, so it's about 5 psi of force, which is more than it will usually be subject to, I think. It's filled right to the brim. If it's leaking, the level will drop, and if it's not, we're good. Have to dig another hole. I should have done this before I put my footing too, but I was just a little bit unsure. It's kind of hard to reach in there. Okay, got my big sleeve. Good. I do wish this was a bit longer, but it's expensive, and that's all I have left. This is a new tool I got. I bought it used. Works good for cutting pipe. If you go to buy hole saws independently, they're very expensive. It's like 60 bucks and 60 bucks and 40 and 40. But I bought this whole kit. It was 200 bucks on sale, which I thought was pretty good. Canadian dollars. It's a plumber's kit, so it's got all the standard sizes that you need when plumbing for all the different sizes of pipe. So let's see here. I think this one will work for this job. Finally. Nice. should be just a beauty now. Perfect. And then later on I'll install a drain here all the way down the base of the footing and weeping tile. So if the water ever piles up here, it'll come through this drain, under the footing, into the sump, and then pumped out. But it's unlikely it ever will. So I was really worried I was gonna have a leak. I've been watching this for 5 hours now. And it hasn't leaked any. It's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. You can just see it's right at the top. What a beauty. Test complete. Now I can wrap things up here and get all these pipes covered and finally get on to the next thing. Sometimes the guy knows better and he does it anyway. Any day here now, my basement wall forms are gonna show up. So let's wrap this up here so we can start on the basement right away. So I got this side all leveled and compacted, and you can just see how nice it looks compared to this side I'm gonna do now. Once the basement walls are up and the log house is on and the roof is done, we'll pour this concrete slab through the window. It'll sit perfectly flush on top of the footers and on all this gravel. And then what that does is it's a really strong base, solid compacted base for that slab to sit on. There's a lot of rock here and it was expensive for me to put. I mean, there's 10 inches of rock. It's like 36 yards or something. And I could have cheaped out here, but the real beauty of this is if any water does come up, which it shouldn't ever, but in the unforeseen, all this rock has such good drainage that it allows all the moisture to migrate from this slab into the sump pump. It compacts better when it's wet. This turned out perfect. I did have some trouble in this one, no doubt. I usually do, but the damn thing is pretty well dead level everywhere, and I'm happy with my plumbing. I just can't complain about a damn thing here, friends. I mean, it turned out as good as I could have asked it to, everything. It never goes as quickly as I'd like to. There's sure a lot of things I would do a lot smarter the second time around. Like, everything is just brand new to me, but thanks for your patience, guys, on this one. You know, with me having trouble in this one, but I'm damn excited for the next one. But it's gonna be a big project building the basement. Then we build the floor on top of the basement and then set the log house on it. That is an oversimplification of a bone aching amount of work, but. So thanks for watching, friends. I hope everyone's doing just great, and I hope to catch you all on the next one, guys. Over and out.